Hello everyone and welcome back to the Netherworld Bibliothek. My name is Vervain and I've been out and about on my travels. I've been out in the Northern Hemisphere where it is currently winter. So there are some long, dark, cold nights and I thought to fit this theme it would be appropriate to read some Scandinavian crime fiction. So I have returned with a copy of Killing Moon by Jo Nesbø. So this is book 13 in the Harry Hole series. If you've heard 13 and you've thought, oh, well, can I start reading this book? Do I need to go all the way back to book number 1? Yes, it's fine. You can start with Killing Moon. That's because the Harry Hole mysteries are largely standalone novels, in that each book is about one investigation and has a beginning, middle, and end. Now, what ties all of these books in together are the interpersonal relationships of the characters, but that is largely a subplot. So you could just pick up Killing Moon and start reading and understand what is going on. And speaking of what is going on, so if you're unfamiliar with Harry Hole, he is a detective with Oslo police. He is a brilliant detective, but he is also an alcoholic. So he's an asset in one regard, but a liability on the other hand. That is explored largely in the subplot of the books. But to return to the main story of Killing Moon. Harry has left the police force, but there is a business magnate, shall we say, in Oslo, who has been accused of 1, maybe 2 murders. And this person insists that they are innocent and they're not going to wait for the police to prove that. They're going to conduct their own parallel investigation, and so they want a private detective to do that. Hence why they get in contact with Harry Hole. So initially, Harry is reluctant, but due to certain personal circumstances, he needs a large amount of money in a short amount of time. So Harry agrees to carry out this parallel investigation and he says, okay, but my stipulation is I will solve this case within 10 days. I will prove if you're guilty or not within 10 days. And when I do that, I need you to pay me this large amount of money. And this big business magnate is a bit taken aback, but he says, okay, fine, let's do it, I agree. And that sets the premise for Killing Moon. Pretty early on, we learned that there have been 2 murders. Now, these initial victims, we don't know very much about them. We just have some basic background information, and then they're murdered, and then their bodies are found. But the 3rd victim, we know more about her. We meet her, we follow her, so we learn about who she is, who she associates with, and where she goes. Because this is a parallel investigation, it's not official police business, Harry unofficially rounds up a group of characters who we've met previously who, for whatever reason, are not working for the police at the moment. So they carry out their own investigation, and although this is not officially police business, or this investigation is not a police investigation, Harry does still have friends on the force. So we do see a little bit of information sharing, and we do follow both the official and the unofficial investigation. Sorry, I apologize, I'm still a little bit sick. I think you can hear it a little bit in my voice. As I was saying, so later in the story, when Harry is speaking to various investigators, various forensic pathologists, he's piecing together who the criminal is, and we learn that they target this kind of person, and we think, oh, the lady that we met, that could be her. We learn the criminal hunts in this area, and we think, that lady went over there. And then we learn this criminal uses this MO, and we think, he could have done that thing to this woman. So bit by bit, the pieces are falling together and we're learning, I think this woman is in danger and I think this person is the criminal. However, that would be too straightforward. We soon find out that there are 2 people who possibly could be the perpetrator. They fit the profile very well. And then we think, hang on, is it this person hunting this person, or is it that person hunting that person? We need more information. So then we get like 2 more scenes. There's one scene especially that's written just as like, he did this, she did this. And I had to go back and read it because I was absolutely certain that it was pointing to one person. And then something else happens and I'm like, wait, hang on, so it's not that person? Like, very clever, Nesbø. So this book is like over 500 pages long, but even though most of it is this like linear investigation where you're looking for one person, towards the end you have these parallel scenarios where it's like, is this person the criminal or is that person the criminal? So on that page it becomes very sort of fast-paced, very intriguing. And then finally, when we know for certain who it is, time is running out. We really notice that one woman in particular is in danger, and we hope that the police have identified the right person and they can hurry up and can catch him before he commits his next crime. So this is a standalone novel in that in the end there is resolution. We do find out for certain who the criminal is. I'm not going to give too much away, but if you're into true crime, you will know that overwhelmingly, like a lot of the time, the person that grows up to be a criminal was raised in an abusive household. Either they were abused and or neglected as a child. And that is true even of this fictional character. And their story is, I'm not going to say too much, but the story is one of revenge. And while I'm not obviously condoning that we all just take the law into our own hands. In this particular fictional case, there is one point where the police are closing in, but I'm thinking this person is so close to getting their revenge on who hurt them as a child. I want them to get their revenge. Those are my feelings. If you agree, disagree, let me know in the comment section. I find that a lot of Jo Nesbø's books have 3 layers to them. So layer 1 is the crime or the criminal investigation. Layer 2 is the interpersonal relationships. And this is what ties the books together. This is what makes them a series. So there are reoccurring characters. Some like each other, some don't. Some have had romantic relationships, so on and so forth. And this is what ties all of the books together. If you have not read the previous novels, there is enough background information in Killing Moon that you will understand what is being spoken about in this book. There are things that happened in Knife that are revisited in Killing Moon, but there's enough background information that you can follow the story. And then thirdly, the last layer, I find that a lot of the Harry Hole books have some other topic, just like some interesting facts, not necessarily something criminal, but that somehow gets tied into the story. So in the previous book, Knife, this other topic was statistics. So there are a few times when characters were presented with a scenario and it was like, what's the chance that this is a coincidence? It's a 1 in a million chance that this thing could happen. So yes, statistically it's possible, but is it probable? And the topic of statistics got worked into the main storyline. Well, in Killing Moon, that third layer is, or are, parasites. And I don't mean metaphorically, I don't mean like, oh, that person is a parasite. I'm not using it as a simile, like that person is like a parasite. I mean literally, actually parasites. So in this book, you and I are going to go to a pet shop and we're going to learn about parasites. As far as the Harry Hole novels go, I would say this one has a happy ending. So if you've read any of the previous books, you will know that usually there is some really graphic violence towards the end, often aimed at Harry. This one, I'm happy to hear, or happy to read that it doesn't quite end like that. There's not a great deal of personal loss for the investigators. And there are even some characters who make new friends, which I think is really sweet. Lastly, these are standalone novels, and so we're always left wondering, is there anything after this? Where can we go from here? And you will be happy to know that the seeds of the next storyline are planted in the end of this book. So the story of Killing Moon is over, or I should say the main storyline of Killing Moon is over, but on the last couple of pages, something happens that strongly suggests that a new mystery is developing. So if you're a fan of these books, you'd be happy to hear that, I think. I don't know. If you think they should have come to an end at a long time ago, let me know. Let's chat about it in the comment section. But otherwise, that's it from me. Thank you for stopping by, and maybe I will see you next time.